So Manchester United have sacked Erik ten Hag. I kind of gave my opinion on this after the cup final when Manchester United lifted it. And to see Erik ten Hag out there with the knowledge in the back of your head that he was a dead man walking was very, very disappointing for me. And I felt gutted for him, especially when I feel it's the wrong decision. I've said it plenty times before. I said it before the cup final that we won. I said it after the cup final. Keep Erik ten Hag in the job. Last season, Manchester United brought him in, and we were predicted to finish finish fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, you name it, we were predicted to finish there. He managed to get third, 2 cup finals, wins one of those. And then this season, whilst the league campaign has been our worst league finish, as we said, since 89-90, and the league campaign itself has been abysmal, I feel like there has been a lot of mitigating factors to that. And the fact that we managed to do it and end the season with a trophy, back-to-back trophies in back-to-back seasons, the first time that's happened at Man United since, I think, around 2009, 2010, in about 15 years since that's happened, to be able to do that, and then see him lose his job. And some people will say, there's no excuses, the papering over the cracks. He was abysmal in the league. I get it. But for me, the injuries played a huge, huge part in that. And you can't tell me if we had Varane and Martinez, or just 2 centre-backs that weren't Maguire and bloody people play Casemiro playing out of position and 37-year-old Johnny Evans. If we had 2 centre-backs that like Varane and like Martinez, I don't think we finished anywhere as low as we did. And I think he had enough credit in the bank from last season to be able to see this job out and to see his contract out at the very least. I wanted to see him give until Christmas, see where we stand. And I feel this was a disastrous decision. And then when you put into it the backdrop that he came into that cup final with the news swirling around that he was going to be sacked, I thought it was so disrespectful of a man. Look, there's been managers at Manchester United that have thrown everybody under the bus. The team, the owners, rightly so as well, but just thrown everyone under the bus, right? Blamed everyone but themselves. Erik ten Hag has never been that guy. When he could point the fingers at others, when he could point the fingers at the board, when he could point the finger at, I don't know, Ronaldo, Maguire, whoever, like he's never pointed the finger of blame elsewhere. He's always firmed it himself. Before the cup final was asked about his job, he said, nah, it's not about me today. It's about Manchester United winning this cup. And that's what he went out and done. And I think as a man that's handled himself with utter class, and to see him treated like this is really, really disrespectful. Now, I'm not going to say I'm losing faith or trust in Ineos, because I still think there's a lot of positives in terms of what they're doing at the club and the changes that they've made. But the time is definitely ticking in terms of how I'm looking at them, the decisions that they're making. You're going to bring your own guy in. All right, cool. Because this, for me, and people will defend it, but for me, this was a very, very Glazer-like decision. And to have that backdrop of the whole week of people talking about him not being in the job, so disrespectful, man. So disrespectful. And people can say, oh, this manager was available, they wanted... Bro, Kieran McKenna will wait. Pochettino's just been sacked, he'll wait. Tuchel's just been sacked, he's waiting. You don't need to rush. You want to rush for Thomas Frank or Gareth Southgate? Get a fucking grip. No one needs those managers in their life. Like, I'm gutted for him. I'm really, really gutted for him.
No, go on, Moss.
Listen... Oh, wow. Wow. Adam McKola, there's some things you said in that statement which I agree with. Him winning a trophy and being professional, which I feel that all managers should do. It's your job. You should be professional, and he's handled it in a great manner. But I do feel like this is the right decision that Man United's made. I feel like, obviously I'm not talking from a Manchester United fan, but just looking on a footballing perspective, I don't feel like the players have bought into his philosophy. I feel like he's brought some of these players into this club, which is his players. He's come from Ajax, from a footballing philosophy club. That's the reason why Man United brought him in the first place. Yeah. He hasn't transferred that into the players, the philosophy, the football, the ethos, and it hasn't transpired into the league. Obviously, he's won trophies. He's won the FA Cup. He's won the Carling Cup. That's great. Many managers have come and won trophies and been sacked and had philosophies while doing that. But I don't feel like he's the manager to take Man United to the next level. And I feel like how do you pronounce it now? Ineos. I feel like Ineos and the Glazers, obviously, have made this decision for the greater good of Manchester United for the future. Now, he has brought in a few good young players, and I think they're still going to be there, obviously, because you can't get rid of everybody in the team. You get rid of the manager. But I feel like there's a manager out there that can take Man United to the next level and help you compete. Because
who is that though? Like, really, unless Pep Guardiola's knocking on your door, Look, Tuchel, I think he
He's
would be near the
world-class.
top of the list for me. But there's huge. He went to Bayern Munich and didn't win the league. That's saying a lot for me. He's also a manager, yeah, that rightly or wrongly goes to places and gets involved in arguments and issues and things like that with people. Is that what Ineos
Short term as well, short-term manager. Yeah, I think there's a middle ground, which I don't think he's good enough for Man United if Man United want to be winning league titles and want to be winning more than a League Cup and an FA Cup. But then there's also a counter-argument. They've got a lot of young players, they've had a lot of injuries, and they've got new ownership. We don't know how that's going to work out. Really, it's their first full summer transfer window to see what the investment's going to be like, how committed they are to bringing in the world-class players Man United deserve to be back at the top of the table. It's basically the question, do you sack him now? Do you sack him a little bit later in the summer, or do you sack him in a year's time? Because I don't think he's good enough to ever get Man United to winning Champions Leagues and league titles.
I think this is a perfect time for Man United to sack him because Klopp's gone. Pep Guardiola's looking like he could be leaving anytime soon.
Yeah. I'm still not hearing who this magician is coming in. Is it Kieran McKenna's did amazing things at Ipswich?
I'm just telling you what.
All due respect, it's Ipswich.
And he was part of a backroom staff where he wasn't rated. What was he in terms of? Was it Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Graham Potter. I'm cool, bro.
Yeah, but
what about Pochettino?
Pochettino's out there.
He did really well.
You're going to sack a man that's won 2 trophies on the spin in England, back-to-back trophies in England, yeah? And you can say, it's papering over the crack. For a man that's never won a trophy in England.
Yeah, but
for a man that's never won a trophy in England.
Yeah, but brother, okay, he's never won a trophy. He's never won a trophy. De Zerbi's never won a trophy.
I like Poch as well, but that decision you're going to make.
Okay, be honest with yourself. Has Chelsea played better football than Manchester United?
I don't know because I don't watch Chelsea all the time.
They have.
I don't watch Chelsea.
They've been a better team. But what Pochettino has done for Chelsea, and he's brought them up.
But it's his first season there, right? With $1 billion spent, right?
He never spent that money.
If you compare his first season at Chelsea to Ten Hag's first season at United, which you should, because kind of similar things happen when a manager arrives, players pick up their act and all those kind of things.
Different circumstances, though. I'll give you that.
What?
He came in.
Yeah, he got £1 billion spent.
But he didn't spend the money, though.
He got players that were all fresh, all new, all ready to work.
So did Ten Hag. Ten Hag tried to build a whole new team, Adam.
He still had McTominay. He still had all these guys there.
Get rid of them. Why didn't he get rid of them?
We couldn't get rid of them.
So he brought in Casemiro, he brought in Varane, he brought in all these guys.
The desperation to bring Casemiro and Anthony in came because the club didn't do their due diligence of checking out signings. We knew we needed a DM for how long. You think the manager went, I want Casemiro, he's the only one I want. He would have had other options. What happened was we lost 2 games at the start of the season. The board reacted to it. They panicked. And then they went, all right, we'll get Casemiro. We're going to have to spend this money on Anthony. You could have got Anthony for 25 million or something at the start of the window.
Yeah,
it was your idiocy that meant we had to pay triple for him.
But have you seen any progression from Ten Hag from when he came until now?
Yes,
you haven't.
We've won back-to-back trophies for the first time.
Adam.
He was in his first season. He gets 3rd and a trophy.
But then your league form has gone backwards.
Yeah, it has.
You didn't compete in the Champions League.
We had Johnny Evans, Willie Kambwala, and Harry Maguire and Casemiro to pick from.
Lindelof's not his signing. He's a £40 million signing. Lindelof
wasn't available. He was
not
injured
his signings. But when you got smashed by Palace, I'm just throwing the counter argument out there. When you got smashed by Palace recently, you still had a lot of money in that back line. I know it's not the perfect back line.
But it was 60 million. Casemiro's not a centre back.
Yeah, but he can make the decisions. It was
Wan-Bissaka at left back. It was, and that's not his signing.
You shouldn't be losing the way you did to Palace. Yeah, and that's what the owners are looking at.
Listen, that's true. You shouldn't be losing 4-0 away to Palace. But I'm not just taking that Palace, just that Palace result for what I'm saying. I'm not. I'm looking at it from the beginning of his tenure. It has not been good, Adam McKola. You can say, obviously he's your manager and you've got behind him and you go to the games and you're there with all the fans and you get behind him. Cool. But for how this Premier League is progressing, all these other teams, even smaller teams than you, have philosophies, have footballing styles. They're getting behind the manager. They have a set formation.
Ten Hag hasn't had the players to play his footballing style this year, though.
You can't say
How can you expect him to play his style?
He's had a lot of players to play.
He's had the players.
He's had his
strikers. He's been injured all
striker,
season.
the keeper. The
only players that's been available all season, Højlund and Onana.
And Bruno in midfield. And Rashford has been fit.
Bruno's been injured.
But what about Rashford's form? That's got to be critical.
But he also gave Rashford his greatest season ever. 30 goals last season. Rashford's never done that.
Why couldn't he do that again? Why couldn't he do that again?
Yeah, the team matters. Rashford playing with no real fullback behind him is going to affect how he plays.
Yeah, what was Dalot all season? The young kid.
He played at right back, Dalot.
Not Dalot. The other. What's the other? The right winger.
Malacia.
No.
Right winger. Sancho.
No, the right winger. No, the black kid, man. The guy he scored against Liverpool.
Ahmad.
What's his,
Diallo.
He was
Ahmad
injured
Diallo.
at the start of
He's
the
a
season.
young kid. He come from the
But he's been
championship.
coming
He's been
back.
on loan from Sunderland.
There was times in the season where you should have been starting him. Why didn't you start him?
I think one of the things he's done is he's gone. Let's give Anthony a chance to prove me wrong. And Anthony's proved us all wrong. And now
The whole season he proved you wrong last season. Come on, Adam.
Come on, bro.
I'm giving you, bro. I'm telling you, from what I could see, like not even just
and
because
Ahmad
of
has been
Arsenal or
injured at
City.
times.
No,
as well.
no.
And when Ahmad comes on as a sub, at least earlier, he was better than when he starts games. That's why he wasn't.
But the
always
Arsenal
starting
board didn't sack Arteta. Back-to-back 8 finishes.
But we could see we had a
Not much
philosophy.
success. Less success. One FA Cup versus a League Cup and an FA Cup.
Yeah, but we could see
Less of a mess. I think Unai Emery had a bit of a side. Less of a mess than Man United.
Yeah.
The owners have stayed the same.
I get it. But
Would you want Arteta to get sacked after
No,
the second
I
season?
never wanted Arteta to get sacked. It's
And
down on record. But
eighth.
I could see. No, I get it. But I could see a philosophy. I could see things happening. I could see what he.
I wonder if Sancho's an issue. I wonder if the owners look at Sancho. They think he might win a Champions League in a
not an
week,
issue.
and think, "Wow, Ten Hag couldn't manage him. He's an asset." But Sancho's a £75 million asset that hasn't been used by Ten Hag. That might be an issue.
And that's
It's
down
not
to
for
the
me.
management. That's down to the management.
Sancho's the issue there, but it might be for the owners. That's a big asset.
I don't think it's down to Sancho. I don't think it's an issue. That's a whole nother argument.
But he dealt with Sancho properly. Last season, he was Sancho's best mate, put his arm around him, gave him support, sent him away for a while, gave him the time he needed, and Sancho acted like a little bitch.
Then he slagged them out.
So Sancho can do one.
If I'm a businessman, I'm saying I see Sancho win the Champions League,
hasn't won
potentially,
it.
Potentially.
at least be in the final, you'll be thinking, what happened there? There's a load of money down the drain on the balance books.
He hasn't been that good for Dortmund.
That might be the
he had
argument.
one good game for Dortmund.
No, you
Let's be
can't
real.
say that. He's
He had
there.
one good game
Yeah,
for
but he's been
Dortmund.
No, he
doing.
had
He's been
two.
there since January.
minimum.
He had one
been
good
part
game
of
for
their
Dortmund.
campaign.
He had one good game for Dortmund.
Listen, I'm not
Real
taking away from Ten
Real
Hag. He won a
talk.
trophy, but I'm just saying there is a better manager out there.
Who do you think
Who is
replaces
it then?
him?
Yeah, who is it then?
I think you could get
If you
Deserbi.
if you had to be right now, one name, do it. You have to do it.
I think
You're
you
in
should-
control. Do
I
it.
think you should get Deserbi.
Who do you think?
De
they'll-
Zerbi.
Yeah.
They concede about 50 goals a game.
No, but
De Zerbi with John
Zerbi
Evans at
won
the back.
2 out of 13 games.
but
De
it's Brighton,
Zerbi. You
it's
think De
Brighton.
Zerbi's better than Ten Hag?
Yes.
If you said Tuchel, just
What
be
Ten
you
Hag
went
did at
cold.
Ajax is better than anything De Zerbi's done.
Tuchel, De Zerbi, or even Pochettino. All three of them
They're
are
in a
better than
different
Ten Hag.
category. You got to say Tuchel.
I don't know.
If you go with the Tuchel
Pochettino
thing,
and Ten Hag are same level. For me.
They're not the same level. They're not the same level.
Pochettino isn't the guarantee of success. You need to jump away from Ten Hag.
no, Tuchel. It's
Ten Hag's
Tuchel.
more successful than him.
The only one is Tuchel.
But we're not talking about success here because you've got success
I think
back-to-back
think
seasons.
it's either Tuchel or left field Kieran McKenna is one of those two.
But why Kieran McKenna?
I don't get that.
I think because Chelsea have made a move for him, it looked like Brighton have made a move for him, it looks like, and I think they've gone. Maybe that's why we had all the noise just before the cup final because it seemed like Kieran McKenna was going to get snapped up elsewhere, and they've had to dive in.
But are you happy with that? Who's the
It's a
name?
risk.
Who's the name that you're happy with?
No one really. I
Is
think
there,
they're all
is there
risk.
one that's like more than anything else?
I like Poch. I like
Yeah.
Kieran McKenna. I
can't
like Tuchel.
you can't say
but I
no
don't know
with
if they're going to be definitely successful.
Adam, you can't tell me no one because I'm sure you don't want to see that football again.
I don't think
wanna
anyone's going
see
to
that
be
again.
guaranteed success. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you're not going to
I
get
don't know.
guaranteed success in this.
I can't give you a name right now that go, I'll 100% be happy with them. I'm going to be skeptical about everyone.
Let me ask you a question. What's guaranteed success for you?
Huh?
What do you...
Depends how our summer goes, isn't it? If we still got this same squad next season.
Top 4 in a cup again for Man
Is that
United.
guaranteed
I think
success?
it's top 4 in a
okay,
cup.
cool. Well, if you're aiming for
They
that,
have to get
because
back in the Champions League.
exactly, that's
You know what I
another
mean?
thing. I don't think Ten Hag will probably get you back into this Champions
We
League.
hadn't won a trophy for 5 years before Ten Hag came, you know.
God, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. I'm not taking anything away from that. I can't.
Fucking disgrace.
He's got you trophies. It's great. He's got you trophies.
disgrace.
We understand that.
Yeah.
But if you want to progress like the big club you are, Manchester United, barring probably Real Madrid, you're the biggest club in the world. You should not be. Look at the football you watched
But
last
Bayern
season.
Munich were after Ten Hag. It's obviously something.
But that's Bayern, bro. Bayern Munich, us three.
Ten Hag's a good coach.
three
And now they got Burnley's relegated manager.
I'll tell you this.
We can manage Bayern
Ten
Munich.
Hag goes on to have a fantastic career.